Ever wonder what it'd be like to be the person, the one everyone on the job wants to see? Because it usually means something's up, something about safety.
Yeah.
Well, today we're diving deep, no pun intended, into the world of an occupational health and safety inspector.
Right.
We've got some great insights from RoleCatcher.com about what makes these pros tick, and trust me, it's way more than just, hard hats and clipboards.
Oh, for sure.
So you're practically workplace detectives, right?
That's a good way to put it.
RoleCatcher even mentioned something called near misses.
Right.
Can you tell us about some of the most, surprising near misses that you've uncovered?
Well, a lot of times it's about looking beyond, well, the obvious.
Yeah.
One near miss that comes to mind involved a forklift.
Okay.
It narrowly avoided hitting a worker who was bending down to pick something up.
Oh, wow.
Seems like a simple case of inattention, right?
Yeah, totally.
But when I, dug a little deeper, I discovered the lighting in that area was actually below the regulated standards.
Yeah.
Made it really hard for the forklift operator to see clearly.
Oh, wow.
What seemed like an individual mistake
Yeah.
actually pointed to like a broader safety hazard.
That's incredible. You really prevented a potential disaster, by connecting those dots.
I hope so.
So for our listeners who might be picturing this job, what does an average day look like for an occupational health and safety inspector?
Think of it as, well, a mix of detective work and, believe it or not, diplomacy.
Okay.
You're conducting audits, examining equipment, interviewing employees.
Right.
It's all to ensure workplaces are compliant with safety regulations.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit. You mentioned audits. What exactly are you looking for during those?
It's like it's like giving a workplace a top to bottom health check. We check everything.
Wow.
We're talking machine maintenance records, emergency exit plans, even get this air quality readings.
Oh, wow.
And we're making sure they meet, very specific safety standards.
So you're not just looking for those, obvious hazards. You're making sure the whole system is set up for success.
Exactly. And that's actually where the diplomacy part comes in.
Okay.
We might need to explain to employers why a certain practice, even if it seems, minor, could still pose a risk down the line.
That makes sense. Speaking of challenges, you mentioned earlier that dealing with employers can be a little, tricky.
Yeah,
RoleCatcher highlighted that as a potential con of the job.
for sure.
How do you walk that tightrope, advocating for worker safety, but then also maintaining a good working relationship with the people who,
It can be a balancing act.
Yeah.
It really is. It's all about finding that common ground,
Okay.
Remember that near miss we were talking about earlier?
Huh?
With the forklift?
Yeah, yeah.
Instead of, just writing up a violation because the lighting was poor, I used it as an opportunity,
Okay.
to show the employer how, if they just invested in better illumination, it would improve safety.
Right.
But not only that, it'll also boost productivity as well.
So it's kind of about framing safety as a win-win,
Exactly.
not just a box to be ticked.
Most employers, they want a safe workplace.
Right.
Sometimes they just need a little help understanding, the hows and the whys.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, not every conversation is going to be, easy.
Right.
There might be some pushback, especially if, a safety measure is going to impact, the bottom line.
Yeah.
And that's where, really clear communication comes in.
Right.
A little bit of negotiation, and sometimes, honestly, a healthy dose of patience.
It sounds like this role requires a very unique blend of technical expertise, but also, people skills
Yeah.
and a knack for problem solving.
You got it.
RoleCatcher mentioned that a lot of people in this field have a bachelor's degree. Is that the standard route?
It's definitely becoming more and more common
Okay.
to have a degree in, occupational safety and health or a related field,
Okay.
but it's not the only path,
Okay.
Some people, they transition into this career from roles where they've gained, that hands-on safety experience.
Right.
So maybe in construction, manufacturing, even the military.
So someone with years of on-the-ground knowledge might actually have a leg up.
Absolutely. That practical experience is it's invaluable. And then on top of that, there are certifications,
Right.
which are, kind of like earning your professional stripes.
Right.
RoleCatcher mentioned the CSP, for example.
Yeah, they did.
And that's the Certified Safety Professional Designation.
Right.
And that's a pretty big deal in our field.
It is.
It's like this globally recognized
Wow. Wow.
mark of expertise. And to earn it, you need the right combination of education, experience, and then you have to pass a very, very rigorous exam.
Wow, so it really shows employers that you are serious
Yeah.
about workplace safety and you have the knowledge to back it up.
Exactly. And there are others, of course.
Yep.
Like the CIH, which is for industrial hygienists,
Okay.
or the CSHM for safety managers.
Right.
And these really just highlight specialized skills within the field.
So it's like leveling up.
In a
Like,
way.
showing you've gone above and beyond just the basics. And that's, that's where RoleCatcher comes in handy, right? Because they have resources to help, build that perfect CV, highlighting those certifications and all that experience.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about the future. What's on the horizon for workplace safety? Anything like cool gadgets or game-changing technologies coming down the pipeline that we should know about?
Oh, are you kidding? Technology is completely transforming the way we approach workplace safety.
How so?
Well, take drones, for example.
Okay.
Imagine a chemical plant
Okay.
with these towering structures.
Right.
Now, instead of sending an inspector climbing all the way up there, we can use drones
Oh, wow.
to just do a quick flyby,
Right.
capture high-resolution images,
Right.
looking for things like corrosion or leaks.
Wow, that's amazing. It's like having, I don't know, an extra set of eyes that can go places that might just be too dangerous to send a human. What about sensors? You mentioned those earlier.
Oh, yeah, sensors are they're revolutionizing real-time monitoring.
Okay.
You can place sensors in work environments,
Yeah.
and it'll track things like air quality, noise levels, even get this worker movements. And all of this data helps us to identify those potential problems before they become huge problems, before they escalate. And that helps prevent accidents and protect worker health.
So it's about moving from, I don't know, more like reactive safety measures to a more proactive approach.
I think that's
using data to anticipate and then mitigate risks.
And this data-driven approach is only going to become more important as we see this rise in automation and artificial intelligence in the workplace.
Right, because new technologies, they bring new challenges.
Oh, of course.
And it sounds like occupational health and safety inspectors, they're going to be on the front lines of navigating those changes.
For sure.
What about emerging hazards? Anything we should be, I don't know, be keeping an eye on in the coming years?
One area that's getting a lot of attention, I think, are nanomaterials.
Okay.
These are these microscopic particles, right?
Right.
And they're being used in everything. Electronics, sunscreen, you name it.
Oh, wow.
But we're still learning about what they do.
Right.
Their potential long-term health effects. And occupational health and safety inspectors, they play a crucial role in ensuring these materials are handled and used safely.
Right, to protect those workers.
Exactly.
It sounds like this field is constantly evolving.
Always.
Which is both exciting and, maybe a little daunting.
A little bit.
You're always learning, you're adapting to new technologies, facing new challenges. What would you say is the most rewarding part of being an occupational health and safety inspector?
Honestly, it's knowing that my work makes a real difference in people's lives. It's about more than just that.
Right.
It's more than just ticking boxes.
Right.
And enforcing rules. It's about protecting people from harm, ensuring that they get to go home safe to their families every single day.
Yeah. It's a career with a huge sense of purpose.
It is.
RoleCatcher really emphasized that, and I can see why it would be so fulfilling. But let's be real. There are tough days, right?
Oh, yeah.
Days when you're dealing with resistant employers, complex regulations, and then just, I don't know, the weight of knowing that lives are literally on the line. How do you stay motivated when things get tough?
Oh, absolutely. The stakes, they can be really high. And the challenges, oh, yeah, they can be demanding.
Yeah.
But honestly, that's where the motivation comes from for me.
Right. Okay.
Knowing that my expertise, how persistent I am,
Yeah.
my ability to find solutions, it can literally be the difference between a safe workplace and a tragedy.
Wow.
And that's what keeps me going.
You're not just, like you said, enforcing regulations. You're actually potentially preventing accidents.
Hopefully.
That might not have happened. Otherwise, it's a heavy responsibility.
It is.
But also a privilege to have that kind of impact.
It really is. And it's not a solo mission.
Right.
We're often working with engineers, industrial hygienists, even psychologists sometimes.
Wow. Okay.
To address workplace safety from literally every angle.
Right. Like a true team effort.
Exactly. And that sense of collaboration, knowing that we're all working towards that same goal, that is incredibly rewarding.
So For our listeners out there, the ones who might be thinking, okay, this sounds amazing, but how do I even get started? You know, what advice would you give someone considering, jumping into a career as an occupational health and safety inspector?
Well, I would say first and foremost, be curious.
Okay.
I mean, this field, it's all about like uncovering hidden risks, understanding complex systems,
Right.
and then just finding creative solutions.
Okay.
So yeah, don't be afraid to ask questions,
Yeah.
challenge assumptions,
Right.
and always be eager to learn new stuff.
That insatiable curiosity, that's what makes a great detective, right?
Exactly.
Always digging deeper,
Yeah.
looking for the clues that maybe other people are missing.
Yes, and honestly, don't forget a strong ethical compass. It's crucial.
Okay.
You're going to be in situations where you have to stand up for what's right, even when it's not easy.
Right.
So integrity, a real commitment to worker well-being, those are so essential for this job.
It's about being a voice, for those who maybe can't advocate for themselves and
Yeah.
ensuring that everyone out there has a safe and healthy work environment. Pretty powerful stuff. So as we start to wrap up this deep dive, any final words of wisdom for our aspiring safety champions out there?
The world needs more people who are like truly passionate about workplace safety. It's a field that's always evolving.
Right, like you said.
It offers endless opportunities to learn and grow, and the impact you can have on people's lives, honestly, it's immeasurable.
Wow.
So if you're looking for a career that's, challenging but also deeply rewarding, this might be it.
Couldn't agree more. And hey, if you're feeling inspired even a little bit to explore this career path further, you know what to do. Head over to RoleCatcher.com. They've got all those great resources we've been talking about, from CV building tools to even interview prep, everything to help you, get a head start in the world of occupational health and safety. That's it for today's deep dive into the world of an occupational health and safety inspector. We explored the day-to-day realities, the challenges, the rewards, and of course, that exciting future of this really vital profession. And remember, a safe workplace, it benefits everyone. Yep. And it takes these dedicated individuals like our guest today to make it happen. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and keep those minds hungry for knowledge. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.